Hey guys, Robbie here from CFSB Nutrition at CrossFit South Bend. Today I am so happy to announce to you the launch of our new nutrition coaching programs specifically for body composition and athletic performance. So over the next few weeks we are going to be talking in much more detail about each of these programs that focuses on things like fat loss in particular, or athletic performance, or muscle gain and strength gain. But today I'm just going to give you an overview. So for the past number of years, we have had a regular one-on-one nutrition coaching program that's primarily based around the Whole30. And we think this is the foundation. We think, eating healthy, real whole food is the foundation of long-term success in the gym, long-term weight loss, longevity, all these different things. But we do have a lot of people who are interested in things like body composition and athletic performance once they've got that foundation of health. So this is what these programs are meant to address. So I'm going to talk about the differences between our nutrition coaching programs so you can figure out which one is right for you. So first and foremost, Whole30 nutrition coaching, or standard one-on-one nutrition coaching. This is the beginner program. If you're a member of our regular CrossFit classes, then this is the equivalent of fitness. It's for general health and wellness, longevity. If you don't know how to make a good dinner, if you don't know how to grocery shop, if you don't know how to deal with stress cravings and things like that, this is the program for you, where we teach you the basics of what you need to know. Athletic performance and body composition, it's more intermediate. This is the equivalent of comp in our CrossFit programming. This is where you already have the foundation down, but you're trying to improve things further. You're trying to count things like calories and macros and sugar intake, and you're trying to get to a certain maybe leanness or muscle size or things like that, or athletic performance. With regular one-on-one nutrition coaching, we focus very specifically on food quality, real whole food quality. How much food you're eating matters less as long as you are eating real whole food. With the body composition and athletic performance programs, we're focused much more on food quantity. It matters tremendously when you get to this level. How much are you eating in terms of protein? How many carbs are you eating? What's your salt intake? What's your fat intake? How much water are you having per day? We need to know precisely what those things are to get specific body composition and athletic performance goals. For health, it could help a little bit, but it isn't strictly speaking necessary. For our standard one-on-one nutrition coaching program, along with this idea that we don't need to do food quantity, we very rarely do calorie counting and macros. Sometimes at the end of someone's 3-month program or their 6-month program, they'll say to me, Robbie, I want to know a little bit about my macros and my calories, and we'll start working on it a little bit. But they've already, by this point, achieved a lot of their goals just getting food quality and just eating real whole food instead of processed food. So they don't really need to do too much in the way of calorie counting and macros, and that's certainly not a required part of the program. It's certainly optional. With the body comp and athletic performance programs, this is not optional. This is an absolute requirement. For 3 to 6 months or however long you decide to do the program, it is a requirement that you are counting your calories and your macros, because at a base level, once you have the health foundation in place, we need to know, are you in a hypocaloric or a hypercaloric state? Are you eating too few calories or too many? Or are you eating adequate amounts? That's going to be integral. It's going to be crucial to you achieving your body composition and athletic performance goals. So calorie counting and macros are a huge part of the program. And if you don't know how to do that stuff, that's okay. I'll teach you. But you need to be willing to count your calories and your macros in order to do the program. So I'll teach you everything you need to know about doing that, but you need to be willing to do it once I teach you. With regular nutrition coaching, the goal is health, first and foremost. This is things like blood sugar balance, proper sleep, good energy throughout the day, good digestion, all these, adequate nutrient intake. All those things are incredibly important. And sometimes things like better performance in the gym will come along for the ride. People will typically lose weight. That comes along for the ride too. But the focus is not weight loss and athletic performance with our standard one-on-one nutrition coaching. It is health, first and foremost. On the other side, body composition and athletic performance, the goal is body composition and performance. The goal is what the scale is saying, like, how much muscle are you gaining? How much fat are you losing? How are your performance metrics changing in the gym? That 100% does matter, and that's the main focus of this program. We do still care about health. We don't want to throw health out the window and say, well, if you can gain muscle eating Little Caesars pizzas, do that, even though that might be fun. We still try to incorporate health, but health is a secondary concern in these programs compared to being a primary concern in the first program. And then lastly, here, the scale or scales are not important. So we don't do anything in terms of food scales usually. With this program, it's certainly not required. You don't need to weigh and measure your food. And the scale itself for body weight, yes, we do weights measurements and pictures. We do them monthly. But along with the Whole30, we try to de-emphasize how important the scale should be to your psychological well-being, your sense of self-worth. We really think from a health perspective, the scale shouldn't have that kind of grip over you, and we try to break that a lot of people have when they first come in to see us. So, the scale does not equal your self-worth, and you don't need to weigh and measure your food. On the other side, once you've been through that and you have that foundation, the scale in these programs is very important. Both the scale for your food and the scale, whether it's the in-body here or your scale at home for your weight. If we are going to be going for certain body composition goals, be they fat loss or muscle gain, or athletic performance goals, which to a lesser extent will require the scale, then you're gonna need the scale to weigh and measure your food. So that's one scale. And then you're gonna need the other scale to measure your body composition goals and maybe to a certain extent your athletic performance goals. So we are super excited to be able to offer these new programs to you guys. If you guys are interested, please reach out. Be happy to sit down with you and chat about your goals and whether these programs are right for you. Stay tuned in future weeks for more details on each of our specific programs for fat loss, athletic performance, and muscle gain. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.